Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, June the 7th, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Is it me you're looking for?
It was, actually. I was looking to see if you were there. So technically, yes. That's correct. So how are you fine, gentlemen, on this evening? First show of June of this year.
Oh, wow. Time's just flying by. It's almost like it's just jumping weeks ahead.
It's amazing how that works. But every week it's another week.
You know, it's another day in paradise, right? As they say.
Weather heating up out there in Denver?
It is. It's you don't have to shovel heat though. So
that's true. Good. It's always a good thing.
That's nice.
Always a good thing. Always nice. How are things on the island, Peter?
Oh, they're wonderful. We're
the island of Long.
The island of Long.
My wife and I had 4 different ceremonies over the past couple of weeks for my son's college graduation.
Lovely.
Well, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
It was brutal.
What's he gonna do now?
Or congratulations.
Yes. Fortunately, it was only we had to go to Manhattan for one, but only the others were in Queens. But it's like you do it at like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. What are you doing?
Yeah, really.
People got to work. So
exactly.
What did he?
As far as what he's going to do, I don't know. No, we don't know.
Okay. What did he graduate with?
He has a degree in musical composition.
Composition.
So he's going to go back to school and hopefully teach someday.
Yeah, I mean, there's a master's in the future, but for now, I just got to get him to write a couple themes for the show.
There you go.
We've been talking about for like 2 years, and
we have a lot of segments, especially in this show. We have a lot of segments that we need some theme music.
Yeah, we have no.
We can get. I didn't know we were looking for theme music. We could. There's other musicians on the show, you know.
Well, specifically more along the lines of like the "Are They for Real" kind of things, or those bumper type stuff, right?
We want some.
Does he play with his brother at all, or does he incorporate?
They do. Yeah, they do sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. Are they both horn players?
No. They both play piano.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but who's the one playing the trombone or the tuba or trombone?
That's Victor. He's graduating high school, so
okay.
I think I may be more excited for him to be done with high school than even he is. So I'm like I'm done with it.
And is he the last one?
Yes. So he'll
you'll be an empty nester in like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Like our oldest, he's got his bachelor's in composition now, so he'll get his master's in that most likely.
There you go.
And Victor's going off to Potsdam to study trombone performance. So
very nice.
I don't know exactly where my wife and I failed.
Now, who's the musician of you two? Any of you?
I guess it's me. I'm only rhythmic though. I'm just the drummer.
There you go.
Yeah. The rest of the notes and stuff is pretty baffling to me.
Well, that's all right. For this particular group, Harry and I can cover the notes. You just hold the rhythm down.
Yeah, I'll hold down the rhythm. I mean, I haven't played the music.
There's no wrong notes.
There's no wrong notes. Well,
no,
we've written a couple of songs, Harry, you and I, that had plenty of wrong notes in them. So.
Yeah, to me, they're right. You know.
Well, exactly right.
Let's go get it wrong.
Well, that's what I love about jazz. You just play and
just play.
You're never wrong.
Mm-hmm. So, depends on how you're playing it. Yeah.
No, you are, but you can say you're not.
John Coltrane was never wrong. Kenny G was often wrong.
Yeah. Oh well, always one might say, but that's the balance, I think.
Right.
You gotta have one really, really horrible person to balance out one of the
Do
greats.
you think there's anybody in the world who has a John Coltrane album and also has a Kenny G album?
There probably is.
I'd like to interview that person.
Is. There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah.
This is true.
Maybe John Coltrane owned a Kenny G album before he passed away. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe that's possible. I'm sure Kenny G has a John Coltrane album.
Well, yeah.
So
I don't know. Like, I can imagine him not.
Kenny Gorlick. That's his name.
Not that he would really admit it or anything, but there have to be some musicians who don't pay homage to the greats. They do it quietly, or they don't do it out loud in public, right? They're like, Coltrane, fuck that guy.
Ed Sheeran.
You know what I mean?
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's not doesn't have a blog talking about how great Double Nickels on the Dime is by the Minutemen.
Yeah,
Not so
they
much.
didn't study, the history of the music they play or anything like that. They're just whatever. I just write songs and I sing them. Or
I just have other people write me songs and I put on sequins.
I don't
shake my ass.
Whatever. I'm sure they were.
And then there's Taylor Swift.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I'm sure Coltrane was fine, but I never listened to his stuff. I do my own stuff. There have to be musicians like that.
Yeah, I listened to Coltrane, but Brubeck was where I kind of zeroed in on in that.
Yeah, you're definitely more of a John Brubeck or Dave Brubeck.
Dave Brubeck, yeah.
Dave Brubeck sort of started a whole new wave of California cool, man.
That's very true, very true. Got a couple of interesting. How I put up a couple of these slides of interesting signs here and there. Saw a few things. Just want to run them past you, get your opinion.
We got a slideshow. We got a
get a little slideshow happening here, right?
All right,
it's a fun show. So
it's just great.
That'd
be great if you actually projected it on the wall behind you. You had a carousel full of slides.
See, I got to work on that. It's not a bad idea.
A microfiche.
A little bit, yeah, exactly. All right, so here's the first one. I'll just put it up there. 100% smoke-free designated smoking area. What do you think of that?
It's my favorite kind.
There you go. 100% smoke-free designated smoking area. This one I like. Here we go. Try a tasty cookie warmed in Owen.
Well, those are
all right. Owen.
There you go. I don't know if I want that cookie. All right. And there's this one. No crime. 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
That seems fair.
Don't be around there at 7 at night, though.
Yeah.
Well, now that could have more than one meaning.
Go ahead.
That could mean there's no crime allowed during those hours. Or it could also be boasting that between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., we don't have any crime around here.
Right.
601, get your ass home.
I would like to think that no crime is allowed 24 hours a day. But
well, maybe it's like the purge, right? That's the trade-off.
Right.
They made a deal with the the kingpins. They're like, can we get these 10 hours? And then
Barbara goes home at 6 sharp.
Right.
Yeah, it's all yours until 8 the next morning.
Knock yourself out.
When the bagel place opens, and then then it's ours again.
But whatever you vandalize, you better have cleaned up by 8 a.m.
You're getting it for 14 hours a day. We're only getting it for 10.
Right.
Seems reasonable. Seems reasonable.
Right, exactly. All right. Then there's this one. This is seen on a bus. There you go. Your shuttle bus driver is hung.
Good to know.
I believe that's a job requirement.
Yeah. He's driving an automatic transmission or a manual transmission with one hand.
And exactly.
Well, I mean, it doesn't say how.
Yeah.
It just says he's hung.
That's true.
I mean, you would take that as a positive thing, but it doesn't say well.
His first name could be how.
It could be poorly.
It could be.
That's my friend, poorly hung.
Poorly hung, right?
He's a shuttle bus driver.
He's a shuttle bus driver, exactly.
To me, hung means that there's got to be something hanging. So
it could maybe he's old.
Oh yeah.
Gravity is taking its toll as it does on us.
Yeah,
all.
exactly what is hanging, right? That we don't know that.
Oh, come on.
All right.
You guys know what it means.
All right.
It means that his last name his first name is Hung.
Hung, right. And then there was this one to wrap it up. This is, I think, this was pretty funny. Level 5 goose warning. The goose on platform 2 is violent and has claimed the platform as his own. Please avoid.
It's a little goose coup.
As a former goose chaser, I can tell you that that is completely legitimate.
This is a January 6th gooser.
There you go. I saw that and thought of you, Pete. I was like, I have to put that one up there. So.
Yeah, we had there was Stony Brook College. We do portions of there, but one of the I guess maintenance crew drew a map for when I was chasing geese, not for me, but for one of the other drivers. And there was one little section we never went there anyway, but he drew a picture of this goose with like horns. He was like, "This is the devil goose. Don't go over there ever because you will get hurt."
Obviously, they're not. That goose isn't going anywhere because they put a lot of effort into that. sign. It's a big sign.
Yeah, you had a great
sign.
It,
some nice graphics. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's covering up a donut sign, I think. So it's more important than whatever was underneath it, whatever advertising was underneath it.
This is true. This is definitely true.
So. Well, listen, it used to be the rat infestation zone.
Right.
So they're happy that it's now the one dangerous
goose. So yeah.
They're like, this is definitely a trade up.
Ridership is down whenever we board on platform 2. I just don't know why. Trust me, if that was New York,
there's a train with one goose on all the cars. It says
that goose would be fucking gone in no time. There's nobody stopping a New Yorker from being late, not some fucking goose.
Not a goose, exactly. So we didn't talk about it last week. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Pretty non-existent.
Yeah. Actually, we did not. We did not have the big barbecue.
You did not?
No, the family was spread out in different places, and normally the house we go to, one of my wife's relatives was not feeling so well and didn't feel like having a big barbecue at their house.
Fair enough.
It's fantastic.
So I worked a little bit during the day, and then we just sort of hung out and we ate leftovers. We didn't even, cook a big thing. Just
gotcha.
Hung around the house, and I think Victor went, I don't know, see some friends or something. I don't know. It was nice because it was nice. It was a nice, relaxing day, and I don't know. I certainly love my family and my in-laws, but after a while, it's like, here we go. Right. Everybody there, and everyone's be talking about how great the food is and how beautiful everything looks, and it's like whatever.
Right.
Can I just sit and
it's the same.
Can I just sit and watch some sports on TV and then watch the fireworks, and whatever. It was actually kind of nice.
There you go. Fair enough.
I started fireworks. Nice.
Well, we have some neighbors
that put them off. Yeah.
Yeah. Every occasion is a fireworks occasion.
Of course. I started the weekend off down at DJ's in town in Belmar, down on Ocean Avenue. It's the WFAN does their entire day of broadcasting from DJ's, live from DJ's. So it's my annual. If you remember last year, I had a conversation with Mr. Tiki Barber. This is a picture from last year, right? So again, I had another convo with Tiki, and this is this year's picture. So there you go. So,
Tiki doesn't age.
Not so much. I, however, do look older than I did last year.
I was going to say, did he recognize you, or you were like, I think I spoke to your father?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've actually talked to Tiki probably a dozen times over the years. He last few times he recognizes me. So.
That's nice.
And he still took a picture of you.
And he still took a picture, right? So that's a good thing, right? Then Saturday we ran a 5-mile run in the next town over.
You and Tiki?
Me and Tiki. Yes, me and Tiki. Tiki does marathons,
nice
actually.
of him. Well,
Tiki does marathons, actually. He does
I bet a lot faster than most people.
a lot faster than me, that's for sure. But no, he does the New York City Marathon every year. Tiki does. But now Jess and I, we and another friend, but there's like 12,500 people that run the damn thing in Spring Lake, in the next town over. And Craig Biggio has a house in Spring Lake too. So
is it?
He wasn't running.
Let's see how many other
run by
90s
him
and scare
during the race?
90s names we can drop.
I know, right? There
See
you go.
Biggio sitting out on his porch watching the runners.
Is
go by.
Fernando Valenzuela there?
He was not. He was not. No.
Steve Largent wasn't.
Steve Largent was there. Steve Largent was there. Yeah. He just has family in Spring Lake. That's
the Largent 100-yard dash.
right. Exactly.
Annual tradition.
Anyway, all right. Let's kick this.
Let's start the show.
Let's kick this mofo off, if you will, with a just a quickie. What do you think?
Sure.
Sure.
All right. Here we go. Just a quickie. This is where that music would come in hand. Just a quickie, or something like that, or
Just
don't give it away. That's
it's
exactly
quicker
the
than
lyrics.
you think.
It's slower than you think. Anyway, all right.
Just a quickie. It's not that quick indeed. Just a quickie. Ironic. Yes, it is.
We went to look it up, but no one has a dictionary. Just a quickie. You don't know what it
is.
Sounds like a They Might Be Giant song all of a sudden.
It's actually a little bit. And here we go. Who will have hit more home runs by the end of this regular season? Pete Alonso or Aaron Judge? Radio Pete, you go first.
I don't know. Alonso plays for the Mets. So you have to think that something will go wrong. But Aaron Judge has been healthy for more than a whole season, more or less, and that can't last forever.
Right.
Although it can.
Yeah, he's
probably
right
Aaron Judge.
He's right on track to do what he did last year.
All right.
Yeah, probably Aaron Judge.
All right. Harry?
I'll take Judge.
All right. I'm going to go on record as saying that you're both wrong. Pete Alonso is actually going to be hitting more home runs.
You homer.
I'm shocked that Harry didn't say Alonso, because that's what the two of you do. You say Judge, he says Alonso, and you call it a day.
Yeah.
So Pete Alonso. It's going to be close. They're going to.
They're both on pace for 60 or close to 60, right?
Yeah. No. Pete Alonso is actually on pace for 64 home runs. He's on pace for right now.
And Judge is right on the same pace as he was last year.
Which is like 60, 61, 62. Yeah. So,
so
they're right there. So.
If he continues,
I think last year he hit 63. Right?
He had 62.
I'll have to move him up on my
62. Okay.
He beat Roger Maris by one.
Best free agent signings list. If Aaron Judge continues along at this pace, I'll have to move him up on that list.
There you go. Fair enough. All right. There's your just a quickie.
After a quarter of a season.
After a quarter of a season, right?
Third of a season.
Yeah, third. Yeah, you're right. All right. That brings us to this week's quiz. The other quiz, not the rapid fire quiz. Not the rapid fire quiz.
The elimination quiz.
The elimination quiz. I like that. Yeah. All right, so let me throw that up
there.
there.
If I lose, do I get eliminated from the show?
You get eliminated from the show.
Changes my answers.
Yeah.
No, actually, if you win, you get eliminated from the show.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Or at least you get the choice.
It's up to you, really, at that point.
All right.
So, tonight's quiz is the elimination quiz. I like that.
Tonight's quiz is brought to you by Bisquick.
Tonight's quiz is brought to you by Cookies in Owen. There you go.
Warm cookies.
Warm cookies in Owen. There you go.
Owen's warm cookies.
There you go. Top Yankees and or Mets closers all time. So I thought about it. I'm like,
inside.
Exactly. So you got 3 and 3. I'm doing that. I'm giving you 6. 3 Yankees, 3 Mets. I'm giving you 6. 4 stay, 2 got to go. You know how the rules go. So Yankees and Mets closers. Here we go. Write these down.
All right.
Write these down. Here we go. Ready? Shocker, the first one, Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, he's gone.
Never cared for him.
Yeah, he's overrated.
He's a systems closer.
He had that
He threw one pitch.
Yeah,
he threw one pitch.
Yeah, he had that great pitch that broke a bat, and what's his name got lucky and sliced a single to center field, and he just wasn't perfect. So screw him.
Here, he's out. So Mariano Rivera. Sparky Lyle. Goose Gossage. Rich, if you will. But Goose Gossage.
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
That to his face.
Yeah. All right. Johnny Franco.
I'm still here.
I was going to say, are you changing?
No, I have a little nasal action going on.
Oh, that's always fun. We can watch that. I like that. Enjoy that.
You have to pay.
That's
Johnny Franco.
fans.
Johnny Franco.
Here we go. Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner. And the sixth one, I'll give you a guess.
Jesse Orozco?
No. Jesse Orozco. K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez. I'm holding the jersey up.
How long was he on the Mets for?
A while.
Billy Wagner did most of his work in Houston, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, all of these guys. Mariano Rivera is the only one that was only on the team that he was on.
Well, but Gossage, I think of as a Yankee. I don't think of Billy Wagner as
Gossage has a longer resume. Franco has a longer resume. Wagner's was probably on the team longer than you remember.
Wagner was on the team.
Still was not a long time.
He was on the team for 3 years.
Billy Wagner.
Yeah.
And K-Rod was on a team longer than that, 4 or 5 years, I think.
So are we judging this
No.
time with the Yankees and Mets or overall?
No, just overall resume, those closers. Closers. So Mariano Rivera, Sparky Lyle, Goose Gossage, Johnny Franco, Billy Wagner, and K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez. Overall record, overall closerness. It doesn't have to be just because they were on the Mets or the Yankees. So, Harry, why don't you go first this time?
Well, this is tough. I mean, I don't know. Raleigh Fingers isn't on here.
That's Yankees and Mets.
I know. I think Sparky Lyle and Goose Gossage were great, but I don't think obviously Mariano's on here. Billy Wagner and K-Rod, they were great. I don't really think they were. And John Franco's what, 4th or 5th maybe all time, and K-Rod's like 4th, 3rd, something like that in saves.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
Billy, they're all of these guys are top 10. Goose Gossage is not. I'm sorry, Sparky Lyle's not.
And Gossage isn't either. As far as
maybe Gossage is. That's true too. Maybe
yeah. So Gossage is probably down in the mid 20s or something, I'm guessing. I think if to be fair, I think you got to go with Rivera, K-Rod, Franco, and Wagner. I think that would be my 4.
So Mariano Rivera, Johnny Franco, Billy Wagner, and K-Rod. All right. RadioPete?
All right. K-Rod, Franco, Wagner are 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
All time.
There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah. And Mo was 1, obviously. So
yeah,
there's 2. Hoffman, Trevor Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman's up there, and
27. Well, you got Lee Smith and Trevor
Dennis
Hoffman.
Eckersley, right? Dennis Eckersley.
Dennis Eckersley's up there. No, Dennis Eckersley's he's down. He's in the top 10, but he's down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got Kenley Jansen and Craig Kimbrell both with over 400.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jansen was great for a long time.
Yeah.
And who?
Fingers
There's another guy. Who's the guy who used to play for the Cubs? Who's the other? Lee Smith. Isn't Lee Smith in the top
Lee Smith.
10?
Lee Smith's
Smith's like third. Yeah.
Third. Okay.
Yeah. So you got.
So it's basically it's Rivera and Hoffman who are over 600. Hoffman's right at 600, and then Smith and everybody else is some
Down to
variation of
fours.
400.
Franco, Wagner, and K-Rod are 4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then Jansen and
Didn't
Kimbrell-
Dennis Eckersley hover right around 400? And he was. I mean, he pitched half his career as a starter.
yeah.
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 390.
You know, to be honest, too. I mean, I think Goose Gossage and Sparky Lyle were on some great teams, but the second best Yankee reliever might be John Wetland. You know?
Yeah, he might have had. Wasn't Mariano his setup guy for a season, and then
Mariano was a setup guy in 95. Yeah.
So he might have had even more, except he had.
Yeah. So I mean, I think people forget how good John Franco was. Billy Wagner and K-Rod. Well, I don't think their best years were with the Mets.
They had great
years, but
but not as they weren't there as long as some of these other.
No.
You know, they weren't there.
John Franco was on the.
John Franco, of course.
John Franco was on the Mets as long as Mariano Rivera was on the. Well, a little bit.
Well, John Franco was on the Mets his whole career, wasn't he?
No, he's 3 years with the Reds, and then he went to the Mets.
Okay, but I think of John Franco as a Met. I mean, he's a Met. Yeah, he was on that.
I never liked him though.
No,
like John Franco. I don't know.
He's
just like to New York, you know.
Well, that was the whole thing. He was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I hated that about him. The guy was a dick.
A lot of those Nets on those '80s Mets teams were kind of assholes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why you kind of love him.
Yeah, you know what? No, fuck him. He's off. I don't like him. He's gone. 4th
best closer of all time. Fuck him. He's out of there.
And I'm gonna keep Goose.
All right, so
Sparky and Franco go have a beer and be jerks together.
You're doing.
Actually, I don't know. Sparky might have been a good guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rivera, Gossage, Wagner, and K-Rod.
All right.
You know, the thing about Gossage and Sparky Lyle, correct me if I'm wrong, was also a starter for a while, right?
Sparky Lyle started for a while and then moved into
and then Goose Gossage was kind of like, you know, his save. Yeah, he had 300 something saves, but I think he also had like over 200 decisions. Like, you know, he won like 120 games or something like that. So
I mean, he pitched.
He pitched in a lot of games we're like, he either, you know, it wasn't just a save situation because he pitched 5 innings or 4 innings,
right. And pitched multiple innings, you know, on back-to-back
and
days
back-to-back.
Like
that.
That.
Exactly. It wasn't uncommon for Sparky Lyle and Gossage to pitch, you know, every game of a series. It wasn't, and he was great. I mean, so I don't think Gossage is all that far off.
He was all right. So
I just think Franco's a little better. Yeah.
37 starts, 681 games finished. He was 124 and 107.
Yeah.
With 310 saves.
Yeah. Let me look up Sparky Lyle.
That's more than just a few decisions.
Yeah. Gossage was, I think, like a 10-time All-Star too. So, but Sparky Lyle won the Cy Young Award, I think, in 77, 78, something like that. So, I still think they fall short of K-Rod and Wagner and Franco they were more dominant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were.
But there's nobody on this list where you go, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no, there's nobody.
Yeah, I won't take any of those guys. No thanks.
All right. Fair enough. All right, there you go.
If you put Aroldis Chapman on this list, I would.
So all right, so let me ask you a question. I take Sparky Lyle and Goose Gossage out, and I put in Wetland and Chapman.
Wetland and Chapman? Mm-hmm. No, Chapman's definitely not there.
I know.
Same thing. I mean, I think Wetland was good, but I think Franco and K-Rod and Wagner were better.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, moving on to the MLB question of the week. This is a little. I read a couple of things about this, and I'm curious to get your opinions on it. We'll start with Pete. It's the same question for both of you. What two cities? Because it'll be coming. Who knows when? But it'll be coming because they're going to go to 32. What two cities are the next to get expansion teams in Major League Baseball?
Other than Vegas?
Well, no, that's not an expansion team. Vegas is just getting.
Okay, I got you. I got
you.
Yeah. In baseball.
In baseball, yeah. What do you think?
I think Portland.
That was what I was going to say. Maybe
Portland, Maine.
No, Portland, Oregon. I also think that you're going to see baseball in either Charlotte or Nashville, or maybe New Orleans.
Pick one. Portland and.
I think any of those places are more likely than Portland.
Really? Yeah, the South is growing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say New Orleans and Charlotte.
New Orleans and Charlotte. Fair enough. Okay, so Char and no. All right. Pete?
I'll say I want to say Nashville. But I don't know if they really want baseball there. They kind of have a pretty good thing going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say New Orleans.
I think Nashville's a good choice, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it would just give everybody another reason to go there. I'll say New Orleans and Nashville.
New Orleans and Nashville. All right. Fair enough. So Charlotte, New Orleans, Nashville, New Orleans. Mine, if you're curious, Nashville is definitely going to get one. There's a huge baseball following in Nashville. I was just down there.
A lot of growth there too.
And they have, first of all, it's the Nashville Sounds are the minor league team in Nashville. It's a pretty cool stadium they play into, and it's the Brewers AAA team. Are in Nashville, and it gets packed, and it's right just west of downtown or northwest of downtown, and it's a pretty cool area. Not that would obviously be there. Obviously, they'll build somewhere else, but yeah, I think definitely Nashville is going to be one of the cities, and I wouldn't be surprised. Charlotte's definitely come up, and I think the other town is going to be Charlotte. But and my choices are Nashville and Charlotte, but don't sleep on Jacksonville either. There's been chatter about that, and they obviously have a big sports base there, and Florida seems to get 2 and 3 teams for every sport. Now they're the new Florida, they're the new California kind of thing.
I would not rule out Portland, even though I think you're right. I think those Southern teams are more obvious. The other team that I think is maybe in the next round would be Salt Lake City. So I think you might see a couple teams out west here. But I think you're right. I think Nashville, Charlotte, and New Orleans are probably the top ones.
Yeah. I have to agree. So cool. There you go. Awesome. All right.
And Jacksonville, I didn't even think of, but you're right. They got a football team. You know, they don't have a basketball team. How about Orlando?
I think Orlando's a little too close to. I think
Miami.
Charlotte would be the destination. Orlando's a little too close to Tampa.
Yeah. Really?
So,
yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, they're going to be pulling in fans from there. They're not going to want to pull away from that fan base. Jacksonville is basically the other quadrant of Florida. You know,
and Orlando only has basketball. It's not like they're competing with football and baseball. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So well, there you go.
Ooh, that would be. Imagine getting drafted by Jacksonville. That'd be fucking horrible.
Yeah. There you go.
Sorry, Jacksonville.
But I do think that. I think it's Nashville. I think Nashville and Charlotte are going to be the two. So
Yeah,
Cool.
well, you would probably know better than anybody else. I'm serious. You keep your. To me, it's more. I would just like to see. I'd like to see another pro team in Portland. I just think. I mean, obviously they have the Mariners close by, but it's kind of like saying, you're a Rockies fan if you live in Albuquerque.
Right.
Are you really? I don't know.
Right.
But you're right. I think the South is where the growth is going to be. In Florida's
there's a
Southeast.
There's a shit ton of people relocating from a lot of places in the United States down to that area of the country, whether it be Nashville or Charlotte or Jacksonville or New Orleans.
I'll tell you where there's also a lot of growth, and you would think, all right, they already have too many teams. There's no way they're going to get another one. I think you could see Austin get a team. They draw a lot of people for Formula One. They've definitely grown as a city. There's a lot of new people moving down there, and I think it's a different feel than Dallas or
Oh, definitely.
or Houston.
I mean, I've heard many people actually refer to Austin as New Jersey South, because
it's not New Jersey.
It's not. But there's a lot of people from New Jersey, and there's a lot of aspects about Austin that are reminiscent of New Jersey. Just restaurants and
it's a lot cooler than
music scene. It's a lot cooler than New Jersey. No, well, there's cool areas in New Jersey.
I know.
You've escaped.
It's the Brooklyn of Texas.
30 years. So
it's the Brooklyn of Texas, not the
Brooklyn
New
of
Jersey
Texas.
of Texas.
Well, no, I didn't make that up. People have heard from many people have called it that.
People from New Jersey who moved there. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Maybe some of them, but
it's the Long Island of.
It's the Long Island
Texas.
of Brooklyn. It's the Long Island of Brooklyn. Right. Anyway, all right, cool. All right, that brings us to the rapid fire quiz. What do you think? Shall we?
Let's hit it.
Let's do it.
Let's go for another tie.
3 ties, 6 weeks in a row. 3 ties.
How about Buffalo for a Major League Baseball team?
Toronto's too close.
How about Montreal?
Montreal might. Montreal's the only other
French.
one.
It's almost like they had a team before. It feels like they did.
It feels like at some point they had a team.
Yeah.
And that team had to move to Washington to win a World Series, right? So, anyway. All right, fair enough. All right, Major League Baseball history rapid fire quiz. 2 weeks ago, I should say, another tie, 3-3. So that's 6 weeks ago, 3-3. 4 weeks ago, 2-2. Last 2 weeks ago, 3-3. So let's get at it. What do you think?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about it for a few more minutes.
Let's talk.
Fire away.
Let's recap the entire history of the rapid fire
First question.
before we begin.
Before we begin, all right. Here we go. All right, Pete, ready? Question 1. Here we go. After you finish drinking. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay. We'll start out with this one. What team has won the most World Series this century?
Is it the Dodgers?
That would be wrong. Harry for the steal?
The Red Sox, right?
Would be the Boston Red Sox. They've won 4. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's a Harry steal. All right, Pete, back to you. Question 2. What Major League Baseball manager has the record for most ejections?
You mean all time or this century?
All time.
I will say I don't know if he has the record, but he certainly was contentious. Let's see, who's always getting thrown out? Is it Bobby Cox?
It is Bobby Cox. Very good. 162 ejections. I did say that right. Ejections, right?
Yeah, ejections.
All right. Bobby Cox, 162 ejections. Very good. All right. Question number 3, Pete. Here we go. Ready? Who was the oldest player ever to play in Major League Baseball?
Well, this should be easy, but I have no idea. Which is true of most questions. The oldest player ever to play?
The oldest player ever to play in a Major League Baseball game, yep.
I wonder, are we going back pre-modern era for this?
No hands.
I don't know. I'll say, wasn't Baby Hands, was it?
He's the oldest pickleball player.
He's the oldest pickleball player, right?
That's right. Wrong sport.
Wrong sport.
Oh. I don't know. I'll say Cy Young.
That would be wrong. Harry for the steal?
I think I know this. It's Satchel Paige, right? Wasn't he like 60 years old or something like that?
59. Satchel Paige is correct. Yeah. So 59. He played baseball. Yeah. Crap.
All right. Well, it's over.
It's not exactly true.
Harry wins 2-1.
Harry wins 2-1.
Well, you could steal from me. And
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. That's like.
Well, you never know. There we go. So, all right, Harry.
Yeah, we know.
Harry, here we go. Question
Satchel
1 for
Paige's middle name.
What's Satchel Paige's first uncle on his father's side's roommate's middle name?
Wilhelm.
Very good. Holy crap, you got it right. No, anyway.
I knew that one.
All right, here we go. All right, question 1. What player has the most Grand Slams in Major League Baseball history?
I think it's Alex Rodriguez.
That'd be correct. It's Alex Rodriguez. He has 25 Grand Slams in his career. So I did it again. There you go. So
Never
you have that one
October.
correct. Never in October. Never in the postseason. Just during.
He did actually hit one in the postseason. Yeah, 07.
Yep.
Whatever year the Yankees won with him, I think he did hit one.
09, yeah. Okay. Question 2. Who is the only player to win the MVP in both the American League and the National League?
It's the guy from the Orioles, right? Frank Robinson.
Frank Robinson?
Yes.
Frank Robinson.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's correct. Yes, it's Frank Robinson. Yes. He did it in 1966 on the Orioles. And do you know what other team? This isn't part of the question, but what National League team he won the MVP with? It was prior to the Orioles.
Yeah. The Reds?
Yep. 1961 with the Reds. Mm-hmm.
I actually was going to say the Reds too. How about that?
How about that?
I didn't know that, but that was going to be my guess.
There you go.
All right, well, that's it. Harry's won.
Hold on. Well, there's another question.
Well, I know, but he's got 5.
All right. He's got 4. All right. So I'll tell you what. You have 1. If he misses this and you get it, you get the equivalent of 3, so you can tie.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right. Anyway. All right, Harry. Question number 3. What team won the first ever World Series?
When was the first ever World Series?
Want me to tell you?
1972.
It's 1981.
No, but it was in the 1900s, right? Wasn't it like 1910 or something like that? 1904 or something?
It was 1903.
What teams were around then? Something tells me Pittsburgh, but I don't know if that's right. But I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh would be wrong. Pittsburgh is wrong. RadioPete for the steal.
I was going to guess Pittsburgh, too. I'll say the New York Giants. The New York Giants. No, huh? I'll say the Boston Braves.
Whoa. You almost got it right.
Almost. Not the Braves?
It wasn't the Braves, no.
What were they called back then? Like the Americans or something?
It was the Boston Red Sox, but they were the Boston Americans back in the day.
Okay.
So, yeah, so...
who'd they play?
Oh, the streak of ties is over.
Streak of ties is over. You know what? I just realized that I didn't mark that down who they played, and I do know...
well, he said Boston, so that's technically right. So it's 4-2.
All right, make him feel a little better.
You got Boston, Jesus Christ.
That is true.
Well, that's why I said New York at first. Figured.
Yeah, that I
remember Pittsburgh was really good for like
Pittsburgh.
The first
that was my first thought. Was Pittsburgh,
the Red Sox beat Pittsburgh in the first ever World
Series.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so we'll give Pete that one. But so it's 4-2. All right, so it's a little bit more respectable. There you go. All right. So there you go. Yeah, the Red Sox were called the Americans then, and they beat the Pittsburgh Pirates.
So there were two teams in Boston at one point, right? The Braves and the Braves Red Sox.
The Braves
went to Atlanta, right?
Braves went to Milwaukee and then
Atlanta.
Yep. Yeah. The Atlanta is the Braves' third stop. In fact, Vegas is going to be the Athletics' fourth stop. They were the Philly Athletics, the Kansas City Athletics, the Oakland Athletics, and then they'll be the Vegas Athletics. But yeah,
you know what other city I think would be right for an expansion baseball team?
Who's that?
It's Kansas City. I think they deserve a baseball team.
See where you went there.
What I have to do is fire the one that's already there.
There you go.
That'd be great if I became a cajillionaire and just won the lottery, had money to spend. I'd bring a team back to Oakland.
There you go. Well, you know what? Let Kansas City follow in the Athletics' footsteps.
There you go, the Kansas City A's. Yeah.
All right. So bring the Royals to Oakland. So it'll be the Oakland Royals, and then make Kansas City an expansion team.
No. Make the. We'll bring. What are the A's going to be? The A's in Las Vegas?
They've been the A's since the 1800s. So.
Well, I didn't know if they're going to change their name.
I'm sure they won't. So, but whatchamacallit? Yeah, and I got a weird fact for you too. On that note, we're talking about MVP voting. Frank Robinson was MVP in both leagues. Here's another weird MVP fact. There's only been one tie ever
for MVP.
For MVP.
It wasn't that long ago, wasn't it? Like in the early 2000s.
It was in 1979.
Oh, okay.
1979 in the National League. You know who the two players that tied were?
Dave Parker and Willie Stargell.
Willie Stargell was one of them, but no, not the other one.
Let me think. Who? Yeah. It was Willie Stargell, and it was what's his name before he went to the Yankees, right? Or was it? Was it Keith or no? It was either Winfield or Hernandez.
It was Keith Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez
On the Keith Hernandez with the Cards, and
that's right.
Willie Stargell with the.
Didn't Winfield come in third or something like that? I remember all.
Well, Winfield. Yeah, it was. There was a bunch up there or something like that. But so there was a tie. 1979. Keith Hernandez, Willie Stargell. There you go.
Is that the only time Hernandez won an MVP? It's the only time Stargell won an MVP.
I believe so. I believe both of them, yeah. So there you go.
Boy, St. Louis has had some good first basemen, huh?
They have.
Jesus.
All right. Here we go. Put that up. Bring this back up here, and we're done with that. Beautiful. All right. That brings us to our top 5.
God. It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. It's getting there, though. It's almost when we get to this point, it's almost done.
Do I have to remember my top 5?
I'll just I'll rattle them off. I'll rattle them all off, and then we'll talk about them.
Well, tell us what our top 5 is.
Our top 5 tonight is top 5 NBA players in this year's playoffs. Top 5 NBA players in this year's playoffs.
Now, I will give a caveat that I created an actual team by position, but that we've loosely picked. The other guys have loosely picked 5 players. I'm not sure mine would change, but I thought it'd be nice to actually have a team.
Well, what's funny is that all 3 of us have 4 the same. Right. Pete and I have a different one. So I'll just say Pete's are Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, and his number 1 is Jamal Murray. Harry, yours are number 5. You have Joker.
It's center. I had Jokic.
Oh yeah, yes. That's right. You don't have these in order. You have them at center. You have Jokic. You had KD,
a power forward.
Jimmy Butler,
at small forward.
Right. Devin Booker,
shooting guard,
and Jamal Murray.
At the point, God, that would be an amazing team.
That would be an amazing.
They'd score fucking 350 points a game.
And I had Jason Tatum at 5, Joker at 4, Jimmy Butler at 3, Jamal Murray at 2, and I had Devin Booker at 1.
Now, are these in order? Are these guys like your order? Like you had Devin Booker as the number 1 performer in the playoffs?
That I had, yeah.
God, we have to discuss that.
Let's discuss. Go ahead, go for it.
I mean, Devin Booker's great, but he's not averaging a 30-point triple-double. I mean, even LeBron says the Joker's the best player in the playoffs. Come on. I mean, he's Booker also. Yeah, just come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Just want a little controversy in our discussion. Radio Pete has Joker at 4 too.
Yeah. Well, you guys are just like Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick.
Listen, Joker's doing what Joker does, you know.
Well, here's
I'll tell you what, Joker and Murray are averaging 8 points more a game in the playoffs.
Let me say,
talk about Jimmy Butler rising, but
let me say this.
Nobody's better in the playoffs than those.
Let me give you my reasoning.
Well,
okay, two things.
Murray number 1.
Let me give you my reasoning here. Okay, two.
Yeah,
things.
I'm surprised.
One. All 5 of these guys. It's 1A, 1B, 1. Yeah. Oh, 5. Well, no, my 5 is 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1E. Right. Okay, so it didn't really matter where you put them. And number 2, Jokic has been doing this. Joker's been doing this all season and last year and the year before and everything else. These guys kind of rose to the occasion a little bit more than he did. He just maintained as he was playing. As in my you know what I'm saying?
That's what
I think he's elevated even more. And the way he's doing it against the competition that he's doing it against, I just think is unbelievable. I mean, these numbers are by a center. Anyway, I will say this: there's been some incredible performances this year, and I in the past I've been critical of Jamal Murray, and I hope it continues. But he has had an incredible playoffs. The only differentiator to me between Murray and Jokic is more consistent. Murray will have a game where he bombs and gets kind of bailed out by the rest of the team. Murray without Jokic is still a good team, but the Nuggets, I'm sorry, Jokic without Murray is still a good team. The Nuggets without Jokic they're not the Nuggets. And
fair enough. There's a few ways to look at it.
What he's doing is incredible. And the other person that I thought about having on there, who I might have had on there if I wasn't doing it by position, and I've been critical of him in the past too, but I think Anthony Davis had a hell of a playoffs. I don't think he gets enough.
Yep.
I think the two best big men in the NBA showed up, and it was Jokic and Davis, not Embiid. So I think that was a great matchup, even though they didn't necessarily always cover each other. That was the two best big men I saw battling it out, and really having an impact on the game. Anthony Davis, a hell of a defensive player, and Jokic still managed to put up the numbers that he did. So, and I agree with Tatum, and Tatum's great, but Tatum's also a little inconsistent. Butler has not been inconsistent. Jokic has not been inconsistent. Booker was not inconsistent. Durant was not inconsistent. Those guys all played really, really well. The other guy that I probably would have on my list if I was just picking top 5 might be LeBron.
Yep.
Tell you what, LeBron James at age 38, other than Kareem, maybe when he won the Finals MVP, I've never seen anybody dictate a game. He lost to a better team. They played good defense on him down the stretch, but man, between Jimmy Butler and LeBron, it's hard to say who you want, out of those two at the 3. That's for sure.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah, but like I said, the 5. Yeah, I mean, if you want to put
very
6,
close,
6
very
close. They're all. Yeah, I mean, you move any one of them around, and yeah.
I like these lists because we all kind of have a different. As it turns out, we very often have a different way of approaching it. Right? You're creating a team. Mm-hmm. John and I are a little bit more in sync. I'm looking in terms of not saying that. I mean, obviously. If Jimmy Butler is the MVP for the Miami Heat, but like to me with the Nuggets, like Murray is not necessarily the difference in them winning, but winning the way they did, kind of walking through. Yeah. And you're right, he's more inconsistent. And what John was saying, Joker is great, he really is, but he's always great and he is consistent. Like he's doing what he does a little bit more, right? Because of the playoffs, but that's what great players do.
But why did we never say that about Jordan? Why do we never say that about LeBron? Why do we never? It's interesting that Jokic gets that sort of I don't want to say dismissal because it's not a dismissal, but expectation that sort of hurts.
Yeah,
his accomplishments.
Well, I kind of to go back to Jordan, and I said that even back then. Go back to Jordan. I was Who did I think impressed me the most on those Bulls teams? It wasn't Jordan because it was Jordan obviously, but it wasn't necessarily Jordan because he was always doing that. It was John Paxson rose to the occasion in this game, or Pippen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
John Paxson was open because there's 4 guys on Jordan, and right. Jordan was usually the guy who found Paxson open in the corner.
But you know what
I'm saying, though. You know what I mean?
When you're consistently at a high level, it does come to be expected, and
I guess.
And the other thing is, you have to really do something when you play like Joker, you really have to do something outstanding, right, to get noticed. It's not fair. You're right.
Like score 53 points and average of 30.
Right, but we
32 points,
another
triple double, right? And average 12 assists a game as a center.
Yeah. I mean,
but that's a day at the office for him.
That's who he is. Yeah,
I know.
So
Here, I'll tell you what. My second team would be interesting because I'd probably move Steph Curry to the 2, and I'd put Jalen Brunson at the 1. So my second team would be Brunson, Curry, LeBron, AD, and Giannis. Good luck with that.
I had a little bit more of a sort of like a rising to the occasion, not an MVP of the player. But I thought about putting Brunson on this team. Yeah. What he did for the Knicks, and that's what he was doing for a good portion of the season. So.
Yeah, Golden State was one game away from going to the finals. So,
if this was a top 10, I would have put Brunson in there. But to your point, Harry, that's a great second team. But who do you have as an honorable mention that you're going to put in when AD gets hurt? So
Yeah, doesn't. We'll get Joel Embiid in there. So
There you
they'll
go.
both be hurt. They'll both be hurt or complaining about something.
Just hopefully not the same time. That's all.
No, AD
Right,
didn't get hurt, and so look, it's easy to criticize him. I get it, and he's unlikable in a lot of ways. But the basketball fan of me watching him play, AD was many nights the best player on that Lakers team. He was consistent. He was tough. He had a lot of blocks.
Mm-hmm.
He played great defense, and his numbers were pretty spot on, man. He had maybe arguably this as good a postseason as he did when they won the championship in 2000. So I don't think LeBron and AD are the problem. I think that Lakers team's a lot closer to being back in the top spot than people think. And trust me, LeBron's not retiring. He's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Like that was maybe one of the closest. Not that every game was super close, but like as far as where the teams were, it was one of the closest like sweeps you might ever see. Yeah. I mean the Lakers, they lost, but they were not completely overmatched, and the way Denver was destroying everyone in their path.
This is a
difference. They probably had a harder series with who was their first round? Was it Minnesota?
Minnesota, a little bit. I mean,
yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, what impressed me with the Nuggets in that series with the Lakers is that they were down super big in both games in LA, and they came back and won them. Yeah. That to me is a little bit of the difference, though, between a Michael Jordan-led Bulls team would never have happened. They would not have been up by 18 at halftime and lost. And right. So LeBron is great, but his game is different. He can't control the game in quite the way that, and look, he does it more so than a lot of other people. But the Magics and Birds of the world and the Jordans of the world, to me, the Kobes of the world, they had the ability to control the game a lot more. And I know that sounds like a criticism. It's not really a criticism. It's just who LeBron is as a player. He's never had that ability to just light it up from the outside. And occasionally you're going to get stopped with the power game. So,
and he was taking ill-advised, 3-pointers late in a couple of those games, and like you shouldn't be doing that. But
I'll tell you though, the basketball is played on two ends of the court, and I still think LeBron James is a top 5 defensive player in the NBA. He's a great defensive player, just spectacularly great. The AD and LeBron might be, I think they're. I don't know if they were, but I would have them on my all defensive teams this year. I know that sounds weird, but on the all defensive playoff team, those two would be on there, probably along with Bam and Jimmy Butler. And I know this is going to sound weird. Maybe Al Horford. Boy, he did a hell of a job on Joel Embiid.
Yep.
All right. Cool. That is. This was actually a good one. I like this. This is a good list.
Yeah.
I really liked it. All right. Cool. All right. Radio Pete, do we have an over-under tonight?
No over-under tonight.
No over-under tonight. All right. Do you want to just...
Couple things to mention real quickly, though.
Go for it. You got your things.
So, look, we can yell and the weird things, right? Pete's weird things.
Pete's weird things.
Now it's time for Pete's weird thing. We need to
you got your things.
You got your things. Whatever.
We need a. This is actually the song that I want created first. You got your things. Pete's things. You got your things. I got some things. I got some things.
I got some things.
You got your things. All right.
Got some things with Radio Pete.
The Blue Jays have been revamping the Rogers Center over, I don't know, like the past year and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's so obviously some of the ticket prices are going to change. So there is a family, the Gamester family, who since 1977, the Gamester family has split season tickets for 2 seats near home plate, first at Exhibition Stadium and then directly behind the Jays dugout, 3 rows from the field at the Rogers Center. Great seats. So Since 77, they've been splitting these seats with another family or whatever. So last fall, they renewed these seats for the 46th time, and the final numbers were $15,000 for the pair of tickets, for season tickets. $7,500 per seat for 81 games. So an average of $92.59 for each seat per game.
Gotcha.
Doesn't seem too bad.
Right.
I mean, it's almost $100, but you're 3 rows back, virtually behind home plate, just a little bit off but pretty damn good seats.
Good seats.
So now they're reconfiguring and all that stuff. So they, I guess, got contacted by the club. Would you like to play a little guessing game about how much the new cost of the seats are going to be for the following season or the post reconfiguration?
I'm going to say they're going to be 4 times as much.
Harry?
So
you're talking per game or for like a season ticket? They're going to be probably around $250.
These are season tickets. So so last year they renewed it was $15,000 for the pair for the season.
So if you go by what I'm saying, it's.
So you're saying about $60,000.
I'm saying about $60,000.
I'm going to say about $25,000 to $30,000.
Well, according to the Blue Jays account representative, Steve Gamester was told the cost of the seats under the new reconfigured home plate club section, which is going to be a special new section there, could be as much as $68,500 per ticket, or $137,000 for the pair of tickets over the course of the season.
But you can also get a ticket for $7.
So it's 8. So it's 8 times as much. Over 8 times.
So it's
8.5 times as much per ticket. 8.5 times as much per ticket. Yeah.
It's almost 10 times. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's probably about right.
I mean, how many Joan Baez's are there?
I don't. That's not the final official number, so I have to believe it's going to be.
It's just shy of 9 times. It's just shy of 9 times.
It's just a little shit. Yeah, I have to think it's going to be somewhat less than that. But even if if it is any more than like twice as much, that seems outrageous. Who could pay? The family, I don't think could pay even $30,000. Certainly not going to pay $50,000 or $60,000 or maybe $100,000.
It's $839.50 per ticket per game.
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne is a Blue Jays fan.
I don't think Avril Lavigne has that kind of money.
Did Taylor Swift buy the Blue Jays?
No,
maybe.
I'm sorry. Did Ticketmaster buy the Blue Jays?
put it in perspective. How much would those tickets cost for the Yankees?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, look, Toronto's as big a city as New York.
Yeah, but it's just from one year to the next. I can't see the price goes up, But so I don't know. Actually, the tickets cost $40. The rest is service charges.
Yeah. The tickets are free.
Supposedly, though, you could get tickets for like $7 though to go see. Kind of like some of the Rockies games.
Yeah, they always list that. They show the ticket prices and
but you're not going to be sitting next to Joan Baez and Geddy Lee. Yeah,
there's only
there's no $7 ticket.
There's only a couple of stadiums that sell out all the time, all season long, and that's obviously Boston. Wrigley Field doesn't even sell out all the time. I'm pretty sure LA comes close, if not sells out all the time. But yeah, there's most stadiums you could show up on game day and get a cheap seat. Jess and I for a while when we were in North Jersey, we used to drive.
The Dodgers have the highest attendance as of I think for last year.
We used to.
And I think the Cardinals were second.
Yeah. Well, we used to drive over just to Citi Field, and without tickets, we'd go in, we'd pay the $25 to park, and tailgate for a while. And then about an hour before the game, just under an hour, after like it was a 7:05 game at 6:10, I would pull out my Game Time app, right? Or one of the apps, like not so it's a StubHub, but like Game Time, there's a couple other ones. And there's always seats. I'd literally get 2 seats in the upper deck, good seats in the upper deck, like front row or a couple rows back, kind of behind the plate, for $2 a piece, less than an hour before the game. So with service charges, I was paying $5 for 2 tickets.
So
boom.
Here's the teams who had the highest average attendance in 2022. Dodgers averaged 47,670 people a game.
But that's only till the 7th inning.
Well, still.
Then they all leave early.
Not necessarily.
Oh no,
that's a lot of places. St. Louis over 40,000, the Yankees 40,000, Atlanta 38, San Diego 36, the Mets 33, Houston 33, Toronto 32. Who do you think the next team on this list is also averaging 32,000 fans a game?
The A's.
The Rockies.
Just kidding, obviously. Yeah,
ahead of Boston and Chicago.
Well, keep in mind, if Boston sells out, but they're lower than the Rockies because that stadium doesn't hold that many people. It's a smaller stadium.
Understood. Still, can't say. I'm just saying, there's a lot of teams on here that are not great that have a pretty good. Oakland was the lowest. Oakland averages less than 10,000 people a game. That was last year. This year, who knows?
I'm telling you,
45.
Like we talked about on last week's show. We're going to get on that. We're going to try to go out. Let's try to go out. Let's try to go out and catch a game in Oakland, and go from there. That'd be interesting. See if we get at that point we'll be the 3 of us and 4 other people in the entire stadium. There'll be more people on the field. There'll be more people on the field at any one time than in the stands. So, but, by then they might just forfeit the rest of the season. So, who knows?
Yeah. We're just going to spend the rest of the year moving to Vegas.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? They're not moving next year. They're playing another.
Oh no,
year.
That's right. They have 3 more years.
They're playing one more. They're guaranteed to play one more year. I don't know how long it's going to take to build the stadium. They already purchased.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If the stadium gets built relatively quickly, then.
Right. So, but they have to play. You're committed to. Yeah, it could be 3 more years, but they're committed to at least 1 more year. So
how about like that's going to even be even worse.
Worse, right? Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
all right.
So the A's average just under 10,000 last year. This year they are averaging 3,400.
Sad. It's really sad.
I mean,
we'll imagine in that stadium too, right? That's a big stadium, right?
It is. So,
I mean, it's a stadium, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you look at pictures of that field before they put up Mount Davis in the outfield for the Raiders, obviously, it was beautiful views behind. Like if you're sitting, up and you're looking out, it was like really nice views. But can't see anything now with Mount Davis out there. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
what is Mount Davis?
It's a big. It was basically the whole outfield. There was a couple of bleacher seats, but everything was elevated, and you could see all the way back to the mountains in California and everything else. Now they put up huge seating in that whole entire section. But Mark Davis did it for the Raiders, obviously before they left and went to Vegas. He put that up to get more tickets for the Raiders games in there, seats for the Raiders games. So anyway.
All
cool.
right.
Alrighty.
File this under good moves the Mets made.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Who is a pitcher that we were talking about a few years ago that they did not get, and thank goodness they did not? Cy Young Award.
As a free agent?
Yeah.
Cy Young Award winner.
Went to the Dodgers.
Cy Young Award winner that went to the Dodgers. Max Scherzer?
No. Now he's not in the league anymore.
He's not in the league anymore. When you say a few years ago, what are you referring to?
Like a couple of years ago.
A couple of years.
He won Cy Young with the Dodgers?
I think he won the Cy Young, and then he was a free agent, and the Mets were in the bidding, and he went to the Dodgers.
What's his face? Yeah, we did the show.
He likes it rough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The guy who got, okay. Yeah.
You can't even remember his name.
Who cares?
It's Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer,
yeah.
So I don't know if you heard this, but I guess about a week ago, was it last year or earlier this year, he went to the Japanese leagues because probably he's never going to play in the States again. Mm-hmm. He's been demoted.
He's playing in the minor leagues in Japan?
Signed a 1-year deal with the Yokohama whatevers in March. And last week, I think they demoted him to the demoted to the Yokohama Dina Bay Stars in the minor leagues.
Yeah, he won the Cy Young in 2020.
Yeah, so it's a damn good thing that he beat out Jacob deGrom, wasn't it? That was definitely
Well, there was Cy Young.
That was the bubble year. That was the COVID year, right?
Yeah,
shortened season. I mean, he did have a 1.73 ERA, but I think he only what did he win 5 or 6 games?
Who knows?
deGrom won it the year before.
deGrom won it 2 years before.
2 years before.
Yeah, and
1 and 2 years before.
And with 10 wins and 9 and 11 wins or something, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
but his ERA was crazy, especially that first year.
Yeah.
So there we go. So Trevor Bauer now in the Japanese minor leagues.
Just
because he liked to, choke chicks or beat the shit out of them or whatever it was.
No, he's an asshole.
Just because he's a sexual deviant.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
All right. Finally, did you guys vote in the Major League Baseball All-Star contest yet?
Did.
Voting opened last week.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No?
I did.
We've only got till June 22nd to vote in the first tier.
Exactly.
Phase 1.
Are we gonna have to put together our All-Star team again?
We're gonna we'll do it on the next show. We'll do it on the next show. Or maybe the show after that, maybe.
I think I want to wait till the All-Star break.
Well, we actually no. Last year we did it actually on the we did the show
the week of the All-Star game.
The week of the All-Star game, or the week before the All-Star game, we did our picks. So yeah,
there we go.
All right, cool.
So yeah, voting opened I think a week ago.
Yep.
And phase 1 is till June 22nd.
It's weird to have voting this early, don't you think? I don't know.
No, they get it in.
The thing is, the whole system is convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
You have the top 2 vote getters, and then you have phase 2 to decide who actually goes, and then you get 6 outfielders go, and then the top 4 end up going, but if one of the top
and then the manager picks the pitchers.
Yeah, and then if one of the top vote getters in each league is an outfielder, then only 3 other outfielders. I mean, it's
a lot of stipulations.
It's just like baseball. Can you make one thing simple?
No.
Can you make one thing simple?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So anyway, voting open now till June 22nd for phase 1.
Go for it. We'll look into that as we go along.
I'm going to vote for only Oakland A's players.
That's it.
Well, here's the thing: you can vote up to 5 times a day.
Yep.
So if a group of people got together, I don't know if they could get an Oakland player in.
Oh, we can.
Maybe get one close.
Let's do it.
We made a concerted effort.
Let's do it.
You get a group of 100 people to vote 5 times a day every day.
Get everybody who goes to an Oakland A's game to do it.
That's true.
That'd be 45 people per
100.
So anyway, go online and vote.
Go online and vote. We'll post the link on the Facebook page. Put it right there. So, all right.
I think that's all I got.
That's all you got, Harry. You got anything else?
Hell no. I do have one thing. One thing.
Oh, look at that.
One thing, real quick.
Go for it.
I don't want to turn this into a long thing, but it's time to rethink horse racing. We've had 12 horses die in about 3 weeks at Churchill Downs. 12 horses. Just something to think about.
That sucks.
As you wear your big dumb hats and drink your, mint
juleps.
next year. It's they're finally doing an inquiry into it. It's sad and it's troubling and it's barbaric to me. But
well, it took a long time to make some inroads in the circus.
Yeah,
right. People. I mean, that was known, by anyone who didn't have blinders on, that those animals were mistreated, and that's why they, performed, because they were. And certainly with the elephants was a big cause for that. So, it can happen, but yeah.
I just think, and look, I'm not suggesting anybody's doing this on perfect purpose. These are huge investments, and I realize people want the horses to do as good as they can. But I think there comes a time when so-called progress in medicine, veterinary medicine, and what these horses are put through, and obviously there's something going on with this track or the way in which these horses are being trained here, that something needs to come to a stop until they figure out what the hell is going on.
That sucks.
That's a lot of deaths. You don't hear a lot about it, but it's finally made it into some news headlines, and they're finally pulling together a team to do an investigation. But this is sad, and I think it's not uncommon to see. I mean, this is a lot, but there's a lot of deaths that go on in horse racing, and I don't know. There's a part of me that loves tradition and loves all of it, but there's also a really big part of me that says, do we really need to entertain ourselves this way? Is there something better we can be doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Be going to Oakland A's games instead. I mean,
yeah.
I would just tend to believe that, given the general nature of man, let's put it that way, the human beings, any form of entertainment like that involving animals, horse racing, the circus, dog racing, right?
Yeah.
Is not good. It's not good for the animals. It's just not going to be. No. And it's probably something we really shouldn't be doing.
Cockfighting
at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's this.
I agree. I mean, I don't usually take extreme stances on things like this, but cockfighting. You mean the MMA? I think we need to look at this. Yeah.
I think you're right. I do.
There's nothing gentlemanly about it. It's, you know what I mean? No. It's exploitation. No. Now, look, I don't think that I'm not someone who goes, a dog should have the same rights as a person and all that. But it's exploitation of animals. It's not,
You're right.
Certainly their purpose here on Earth should not be to entertain us.
No, that's not what it is.
At the expense of their health and well-being and maybe their lives.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But it's a good thing that they got something together that are looking into it now. That's the bottom line. So hopefully they do, and actually legitimately look into it and find out what caused all of that and do something about it. So.
Right. I think they got Dr. Vinny Bumbatz on it. So it's
they got Dr. Vinny Bumbatz. You know Dr. Vinny Bumbatz.
He's great. He'll do wonders. Anyway, not to bring everything to a crashing halt, but yeah.
Hopefully these horses get a little bit more respect.
Yes.
To continue the Dr. Vinny Bumbatz thing, but for real, get a little more respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, all right. There you go. Anything on pickleball? Anybody? Nothing?
Pickleball's on fire, by the way. And I just want to let you know that I think it was Agassi. There he is. I saw Baby Hans Johnson, Agassi. I saw 4 of the 30-something-year-old ex-tennis players going at it at pickleball the other day. And let me tell you something. It was the loudest and most intense game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It's on fire. It's on fire.
Yeah, it's getting television
this
coverage.
This is the highlight of our generation.
They've actually there's a library and some baseball fields and a couple tennis courts around the corner from my house, and they have started playing pickleball on tennis courts.
They've been playing pickleball
probably at least as much, if not more than tennis.
They've been playing pickleball here in town for a couple of years. 2 or 3 years now, yeah. Okay.
Well, you know what? Maybe I think I still have the website saved, the bookmark somewhere. We should look in the old professional pickleball, and
we need to check that.
There's got to be some. It's coming up. It's springtime coming up on summer. Got to be some pickleball tournaments coming through the area, right?
Got to be. We
I-
got to.
I think you're gonna-
There was
I think
one
check
in
it out for the
Jersey
next show,
last year,
definitely.
and
I think you're going to see some of these retired tennis players jumping onto the pickleball.
I think I saw. Remember John? I think it was John Isner.
Yeah.
He's like 6'10". Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Like, how do you beat that? He's got like an 8.5-foot wingspan. And he just
Huh?
like tells his partner, I got this. Just stand
Yeah,
on the side. There.
Stand aside. I got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, Dikembe Mutombo is going to start to.
Yeah, exactly. All right. All right. We'll look into the pro pickleball on the next show.
Pro
Definitely.
pickleball tour.
All right.
All right.
All right. On that note,
Let's get out of here.
We will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well on the Log Room channel. Excuse me. Remember, we go live with video podcasts on both Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Vote for your favorite All-Stars 5 times a day.
Go A's.
Do it.
Goodbye, everybody.